Welcome to the Meprolight workshop, and today we're going to talk about one of our new optics, rifle optics, the M22. But before we dive into that, I'm getting a little hungry.
You're always hungry.
That's true. But I love steak. Eric, what is your favorite cut of steak?
I can't believe this is what we've come to already.
Yeah.
Well, ribeye.
Ribeye?
Not even a thought.
Same. I love a really marbly, lots of fat ribeye. It's delicious and super filling, and I love it. So
yeah, anytime you can get it from a good local butcher, it's just fantastic.
Absolutely.
But we should probably get back to what we came here for.
We should. We're going to eat after this. So yeah, absolutely. So this is our brand new M22, but you can't really talk about the M22 without talking about the legendary M21. So get us started, Eric.
Yeah, so right here we have our M21. M21, again, similar to the True Vision with the Imam and some other things, the IDF actually came to Meprolight back in the late 90s, early 2000s and asked for a new battle optic for their carbines. So the M21 was devised. Very specific requirements, no batteries. So everyone now is talking about battery life and battery management, and that's what we preach, and we obviously run optics that use batteries. We use batteries in flashlights and night vision and helmet lights and all laser pointers, all these other things. But when it comes down to it, batteries fail. So they fail because they are left in too long and people don't properly maintain them. They fail because you're in a cold environment and it zaps them. They fail because some people maybe buy the cheapest ones off of Amazon, expecting life expectancies of lithium ones. So there's a whole host of battery issues. The M21 and the M22 requires no batteries. So using tritium and fiber optic technology in order to get the reticle up on the screen, which means that it can take pretty much any recoil you want to give it. There's no electronics inside to break. So it is a rock solid. Been the official optic of the IDF since 2003. There's obviously a conflict going on right now within Israel, down in Gaza. You will see a host of M21 still on battle rifles today. We've seen some gnarly ones. We've seen ones literally run over by tanks. We've seen ones hit by all types of shrapnel. We got to see one a few months ago that took an impact of a grenade, and they still work.
Absolutely. And personally, a few years ago, I went to Israel and I saw these everywhere. And they were beat to heck, but they were still running strong. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like your old school 1911s that have been in and out of a holster 10,000 times,
Yep.
and they're silver. There's no parkerization or no finish. When I've been to Israel a couple times as well, and that's what you're seeing. I've got some photos on my phone where this entire housing up top, this whole thing is just straight silver.
Yep,
so,
exactly.
They're still making, when I talked to Benny, our VP over there in Israel, they still make thousands of these a month. Again, when we talk about countries within Africa, countries that do not have a battery supply chain like we do here in the U.S., having an optic that does not require them is a huge deal. So if you want an optic that really takes no effort, no maintenance, warranted for the tritium, I know we've talked warranty about a lot of our other products. Meprolight covers this as well. So on the tritium inside is 10 years warranted. So if your tritium starts to fade, whatever the case may be, give us a call, we'll take care of it. And then obviously once your tritium goes, your fiber optic is still 100% usable for the lifetime. We've had guys that are just now calling. They have units that are 15, 16, 18 years old, and their tritium is still super bright. And it's cool because you start seeing the serial numbers and you're like, oh man, this thing is super old. But they keep ticking.
So going from the M21, how have we improved with the M22?
Yeah, so M21, obviously much larger in size to the M22. Again, when we think about conflicts in the early 2000s, 9/11 obviously in 01, this was designed even before that. You're kind of stuck with manufacturing techniques that were available at the time. So like every other industry in the world, we're able to now take technology and manufacturing processes and make it easier, make things smaller, make things lighter. So you can notice here on the right side, we actually have two locking bolts or locking blocks for the M21, where on the M22, we were able to go down to one. So are you compromising on any of the locking mechanism on a standard 1913 rail? Absolutely not. Inside the box comes a wrench. So they can all say mil standard. Mil standard is a spec. There's still a tolerance there. So not all rails are cut the same. you can adjust the tension on your rail with those. And then just overall, so the original M21s, they were available in 5 different reticles in amber color only. The reason for it was the technology just was not there to do red or to do green. We got to understand that red and green they use more power than say the amber colors. So that's why the first ones were amber. The new M22s were released in 2 reticles, a 3.5 and 40 MOA bullseye, and then also we call it a 10 MOA triangle. We have decades of sales data of what people like the most, and it came down to they enjoyed the bullseye and they enjoyed the triangle, so that's what we did in the M22.
Oh yeah, and it's just a simple quick detach mount that you just pop it right on, super easy.
No reason to not show the folks at home, but that's all we're talking about. It is, and it takes up much less rail space. So if you count up the amount of rails this takes up versus this, people nowadays are running magnifiers behind.
Yep.
They want to run flashlights up front. Rail space is becoming more of a premium.
Yep.
So having the extra rail space really does help.
It works with magnifiers. It works under nods. So it works just like any other traditional battery powered red dot, but without the actual batteries. So
yeah, I mean if you're a survivalist, if you're someone that just wants something to work at all hours of the day, no matter what environmental scenario you're in, the M22 would fit that bill tremendously for you.
Absolutely. So a lot of people are running these on their home defense guns, on competition guns, or their bug out into the world gun. We do have some accessories that makes the Optic even better. Sometimes there is a issue with washout, and some people may overblow that issue a little bit, but tell us about the accessories briefly.
Yeah, so let's cover washout real quick. Yes, when we talk about technology that it is taking in ambient light at the shooter's position, you will have washout because there's no battery illuminating a reticle and there's no adjustment there. So it typically happens from a very dark location to a bright location. It is as prominent with the red as it is with amber. And we do have mitigation techniques or mitigation accessories, if you will. If you're at the range and you're shooting and the light is consistent from the shooter's perspective to the target, you have no problems. If you pick the gun up and it is set up like this and maybe it's sitting by your bedside, there's no difference because the environmentals are the same, the lighting conditions are the same throughout your perspective from where your target's perspective is. So we do have things, the M21 has a polarizer, it also has a kill flash. The M22 will also have a polarizer. We're going to cover that in some of the accessories as well. And then there are some external other manufacturers making light attachments to the M21. And maybe we'll get into some of the accessories coming from the M22 that Meprolight itself has designed.
Definitely. Well, guys, I'm getting hungry, and so it's time to eat a big juicy steak. I want to know what your favorite cut of steak is. And if it's not ribeye, you're probably wrong. But that's okay. More ribeye for me. But guys, if you want to know more about the M22, check us out our website at meprolight.com. Any questions about the M22, ask below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys.